promised myself I wasn't going to cry. This is actually the first time I'm crying saying this story. Hello friends, hope you guys are doing really well today. I am so happy on this day to be sharing our very exciting news with you guys. So if you've been following me and following this channel for a while now, you will know that my husband and I have been trying to conceive for years now. Since we've been married, shared my fertility journey story over here on YouTube. In fact, that video was one of the first videos I posted here on YouTube, and my fertility journey was actually one of the things that inspired me to create this YouTube channel, because I wanted to share a life of calm and happiness despite the fact that we're going through that massive challenge. I will leave the video linked below in the description in case you want to catch up with my story. As you guys can imagine, my husband and I have gone through all the emotions you can possibly go through, when you are waiting, when you are going through something like waiting to conceive. And finally, I am so happy to tell you guys that we are pregnant. We are so overjoyed, words can't even begin to describe how we feel and how we've been feeling for the past months. Since we found out, and I've been waiting patiently to share the news with you guys. Yay! We are pregnant! Oh my God! Before I start talking about how we found out, I would like to share the point where we were. I would like to mention where we were at the point of finding out, that we were pregnant in our fertility journey. So months after the fibroid removal surgery I had in 2019, I talked about this experience in my fertility journey video, which I will leave linked below in case you're interested in watching. Well, after the fibroid removal surgery, months after, we still weren't getting pregnant. So we went back to our gynecologist and we ran a few more tests, and based on the tests that we ran, we were informed that my body wasn't producing fertile eggs at that point. And this was very odd and very strange for someone my age. I was in my early 30s at the time, so it was a very odd thing to have been happening, where my body wasn't producing enough fertile eggs, that was getting fertilized every month of my cycle. And the next course of action, based on all the tests and everything that the gynecologist found out, based on his own recommendation, was that we should start trying, to conceive in other ways, IVF for instance, and that was going to be the only solution that we had, if we wanted, to get pregnant. So this was the point where we were at 2019. And as you can imagine, I was just really disappointed with my body. Getting pregnant is the one thing every woman should be able to, know how to do. And for some reason, my body decided, not to do it at that time. So I was disappointed at my body, at myself. I was wondering, of course, why me? Why this would be happening to me? And what I did, to deserve to deserve what was happening at the time. After this COVID-19 now hit, so we couldn't have any more appointments with our gynecologist. So my husband and I stayed at home for over a year, all through the pandemic, and the restriction in movement and everything. So we're at home just thinking about the next steps to take, what we wanted to do, and just what we needed to do to just move forward. But meanwhile, I still had a very strong conviction that my baby was coming. And so it was just so strong. Yes, I was disappointed in my body. Yes, the doctor's report said this. Yes, the test we ran said that. But it was just too strong in my conviction that my baby was right there. All I needed to do was to just take my child. I had that strong conviction in my spirit. And in my fertility journey video, I actually shared a shared vision my husband and I had when we were praying one day that we were just holding hands praying, together for our morning devotion, and we saw a child running towards us, and the child shared vision, and the child hugged our legs as we were standing praying. And as soon as I had it, I opened my eyes and I told my husband so that I just saw a child running towards us, and he just said the same thing, that is exactly what he saw as well. So it was a shared vision, that we had that same morning while we were praying. So we still believed, we still knew, that our baby, our child, was there, but for some reason, it was just not within our grasp at the time. So during the COVID pandemic, we just decided to just continue to pray and just continue to trust God. And after much praying and consideration, we decided that we were just going to wait on the Lord. No, we're not going to do anything, that we'll just live our lives, enjoy our lives, and just, wait for the perfect time, that God wants our baby to come. And that was a decision which, let me tell you, is easier said than done. It's easier said than done when, doctors have solutions. This one has solutions, which has nothing wrong with any of those solutions, but we as a couple just decided that no, we will just keep on praying and just not put our minds, on the issue or the challenge or whatever, and just continue to trust God. In fact, we had different people show up at some point in time, coming up with all manner of solutions for us. Buy this fertility drug, buy that. Someone even called my husband one night and was offering him a solution that was against our faith. But my husband and I just decided to remain at peace in our spirit, in our mind, and just wait on the Lord. And it was at this point that I shared my Peace While Waiting to Conceive video here on YouTube. I'll leave that one linked below as well in case you want to watch it. So fast forward 3 years after all that waiting, and praying and looking unto the Lord. 3 years after, in this beautiful year, in 2022, on a very beautiful Thursday morning, I was reminded that my period was about to come. I was reminded that my period was about to come with the all too familiar abdominal pain that happens when your period is about to come. So I checked the app that I use to track my period and my ovulation days, to just know the day exactly the period was supposed to come, so I could prepare myself, prepare my mind, and the app told me that I was 2 days late I had been so busy at that time in my cake business and other things that I was doing that I did not realize that I had actually been feeling that pain for a couple of days, and I hadn't seen my period yet. So at that point, I didn't know what to think, because if there's anything that has been pretty consistent in my life is my period. My period does not fail, it does not come late, it doesn't cease, it doesn't do anything. It comes when it's supposed to come and it goes when it's supposed to go. So for me to have been 2 days late was pretty strange, but I didn't want to put my mind on it. I was, of course, shocked. I was a little bit, excited, but I didn't want to get my hopes up, because as you can imagine, all the years I've been wanting this to happen, where at the end of the day, the period will show up and I'll be disappointed. So I didn't want any disappointments. So I just decided that, okay, so this was on a Thursday. So I decided that I was going to wait till the weekend, and if my period had not come at the time, I was going to tell my husband so we could do a home pregnancy test. So Saturday came and still no period. Saturday morning. So I informed my husband, and you guys, you can't even imagine the look that was on his face when I told him. Even he too tried to contain his excitement, but there are no words to describe it. So that Saturday morning, we got dressed and we decided to take a walk to the pharmacy in our estate to get a pregnancy strip. And on that walk down to the pharmacy, it was one of the longest walks that we've ever had. We were both excited, but we didn't want to put our minds, we didn't want to be disappointed, at the end of the day. But we were hopeful, knowing, that whatever happened, we were together in it, and we were going to take it. So we got to the pharmacy, we got our test, and we walked back home. And I went into the toilet, and I peed on the strip, like you do. And then we waited. After a few minutes, we saw the first line, and the second line wasn't coming. And we were just waiting patiently, until we saw the second line. Oh my God. The second line showed 2 strong lines that showed that we were pregnant. God had done it. I promised myself I wasn't going to cry. This is actually the first time I'm crying saying this story. Okay, no more crying. I'm done. So after a week of living in bliss, as you can imagine, after taking the tests, we eventually went to the hospital and we did a blood test, and the blood test also confirmed that we were pregnant. And I remember on the way home from the hospital, I started feeling nauseated and tired at the time, but of course the joy, because even after we took the home pregnancy test, I don't know, I still wanted that confirmation, with the hospital test, with the blood test. So after that, my mind was a little bit more calm and at peace. And I think the following week after that home pregnancy test, the first trimester symptoms began and it came hard. I couldn't keep anything down. Water, food became my enemy. I was throwing up everything. You know how they say, eat dry toast, take ginger tea, do this. None of that worked. Dry toast, out. Ginger tea, out. Oxygen was being thrown out. Nothing. I couldn't keep anything down. And as you can imagine, this went on for weeks, where I was vomiting and throwing up. I would throw up over 10 times a day, which is like the more advanced level. I don't know if it was like that for you, how it was, how your experience was, but for me, I was throwing up over 10 times a day. I had to be admitted in the hospital severally to taking fluids because I couldn't keep anything down. All my favorite foods became my enemy. My husband didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to get me. He would get me food from this place that I love, out. He would get me food from another place, out, and it was this experience scarred me for life to the point where even now I'm still a little apprehensive about food, which is very strange because I am a foodie. I think for us foodies, pregnancy just brings out the opposite in us, where food just becomes our enemy. Anyway, that is the way it was for me. And even my husband's smell, which is my favorite smell in the entire world, became intolerable for me to the point where he would have to dress up outside the room. So I was totally weak all those weeks where I couldn't keep anything down. As you can imagine, no food, no water for days. So it was at this point I took time off Instagram and even posting here on YouTube because I didn't have the energy for anything. I had a more advanced level of this of this first trimester experience. There's actually a name, for that. When we vomit a lot, when we throw up a lot during pregnancy. I can't remember the name right now, but I'll leave it written on the screen. Where it's like a more advanced stage where you're vomiting more than 10 times a day. So because of this, I had to be admitted severally. I was spending most of my weekends in the hospital, taking in, drip and just being monitored that everything was fine. And even after all this was happening to me and I couldn't keep anything down, everything was irritating me. Everything, my home at the time was a mess. I couldn't stand because I was so weak, and even I couldn't talk at some point because I would hold spit in my mouth just for me not to, throw up. And once I go to the bathroom to pour out the spit, I would vomit. So my husband couldn't talk to me. He would tell me, "Sweetheart, I miss you." I couldn't even say anything. I would just, be holding spit in my mouth. So even after all this was happening to me, I was still very happy and just thankful because I knew that all these things were happening because I was growing a little one in me. So it still made me happy. Even though I was exhausted and I was irritated and just not myself, but I was still thankful. I was still grateful to God that He had heard us, He had heard our prayers, and He had allowed us and given us the ability to conceive. Then one of the other amazing things that happened during that period was that we adopted our puppy, Latte. Latte is such a precious little puppy. We got him at 5 weeks old when he was still very little. So our plan was we wanted our puppy, our baby to grow up together, but we wanted to get our puppy earlier so that we can build his own routine, teach him, train him a little bit and let him be comfortable in the home before we bring the baby home. So we wanted Latte to have his own routine and just, already be a member of the family. So we got him at 5 weeks. He was just a tiny little puppy, but this puppy was so precious. He would be with me in the bathroom when I'm throwing up. He would stay with me, keep me company when my husband goes to work and I'm just at home alone, lying on the bed, weak. So precious, so happy that we have this new addition. The whole of Instagram probably knows all about Latte by now, but this is the first time my family over here on YouTube will be seeing him. So thankfully, towards the later end of my first trimester, I started feeling a lot better. I wasn't throwing up as much as before, so I was able to get some of my energy back and I was able to start eating some foods. But another dreaded symptom kicked in, which is constipation. That is a story for another day, but let me just say that it took 1 full week. That horrible constipation lasted for 1 full week before I expelled the rock of a poo that held me ransom for 1 week, and this was after several trips to the hospital to try and flush the thing out and several painful home remedies to try and push that thing out. So now that my first trimester is way behind me, the thought and the experience still lingers in my mind where I'm still a little bit scared about some foods, and that has really helped me curb some food cravings and has really kept me, eating well. And of course, I don't want a repeat of the constipation, the horrible constipation experience ever again. So it has helped me to just try and eat a little bit better and taking the recommended vitamins and minerals that I'm supposed to take to just keep my body healthy. And like I said before, maybe for foodies like us, pregnancy just brings out the opposite of us, because I haven't had any massive food craving yet. In fact, the other day, my husband was telling me that I've just made life easy for him because I haven't sent him on any funny food errands in the middle of the night, and I haven't sent him to Ibadan yet to buy me amala gbegiri. And not yet anyway. So he's happy about that I haven't sent him on any ridiculous food run or told him to go and buy or look for food that he has never heard of before in his life. So for some reason I haven't had any food cravings. I just get hungry. I get hungry, really hungry, especially in the mornings. And then I eat my breakfast. I try to eat a very hefty breakfast. And I'll be done till evening. I rarely eat lunch, except maybe fruits or or maybe vegetables. And at night for dinner, I try to eat early as well because I'm prone to having ulcer, because I've had ulcer in the past. So any bloating, any feelings of bloating usually triggers that ulcer pain. I've had to go to the hospital severally during the course of my pregnancy for pain relief because of the ulcer flare-up and ulcer pain. So I try as much as possible not to eat late at night. So I just have my breakfast in the morning, have a light snack, or maybe not even take anything at all in the afternoon, or in the evening I eat my dinner, and then I'm good for the day. No cravings, no funny sweet tooth cravings, no cravings for cake. Occasionally my husband and I will have ice cream, for Friday movie nights. But aside from that, nothing ridiculous. I haven't had any massive food craving at all. Then I've also stayed away from coffee. So since I learned that I was pregnant, I've stayed away from my beloved coffee, just my own, because I know you can drink coffee while pregnant, but I just decided to cut that out of my diet for now, and also to reduce excessive salt intake, which I pretty much do a good job at that even before I got pregnant, where we don't take too much salt. So but now is even more important, just to avoid excessive swellings, and especially swellings on your feet and ankle, to just avoid that totally. I've stayed away from coffee and salt. So as you can imagine, I haven't had coffee for some months now. I can't wait to get back to my normal foodie routine. But for now, I'm just enjoying every experience. For the pregnancy glow, everybody talks about the pregnancy glow, and even me, myself, I was curious to see if I would experience that for myself. And to my surprise, in my first trimester, I experienced the pregnancy glow. Like, my skin was so supple, and I just became so fair, and my skin was so soft. Like, I said, I was looking at my hands the other day, and I was like, my goodness, I am really fair. Even my husband was like, I said, you are fairer than usual. My skin was like flushed, like really supple and really soft. But unfortunately, that was a time where I was vomiting everything and I was throwing up. So I had no energy to even show it off. I couldn't take pictures, as you can imagine. I couldn't take anything. I couldn't show it off, but I actually noticed that glow and the change in my skin. And of course, my hair too has become really full, and I've experienced very minimal hair loss since I've been pregnant. It has actually gotten really long and really dark and just fuller, than usual. But later in my second trimester, I started developing some annoying little pimples that just came out from nowhere, and the pimples decided not to go. They were just tiny pimples all over my face. But eventually those cleared off. And my skin just, got back to normal. But you guys tell me in the comment section, am I glowing? Now we are patiently waiting for our precious little miracle baby to arrive. So I am currently in my third trimester. So we are close, and very soon we'll be bringing home our baby. So thank you very much for sharing our good news with us, and thank you for hearing my pregnancy journey so far, and thank you so much for all your thoughts and prayers. I know I get comments, I get DM messages in my DMs of people just praying for me, send us thoughtful comments, and just wish us well and just pray for us. And I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful for everyone that has sent us prayers. I'm especially thankful for this set of twins in our church. These two guys took it upon themselves. They came to our house to visit us last year in November, and they prayed with us with all their hearts. They are actually ministers and evangelists as well. So they prayed for us, they anointed our home, and we just felt a shift, in the atmosphere that day. And we just knew that was just the crowning, thing to happen, to just make us know that God is with us and God has heard us, and we should just be patient, and we should just, trust in Him. And shortly after that, we found out that we were pregnant, we got our testimony. So I want to thank the Craigs from church and to thank everybody, that has sent us prayers and that has prayed for us or sent us well wishes and thoughtful messages over the years. I'm so grateful for you guys and I love you guys so much. And I look forward to sharing this new journey of motherhood with you guys. I actually have some more pregnancy videos that I want to post over here on YouTube. But right now we are still in the planning phase, because if there's anything I've been doing is just taking each day as it comes, taking each day as they come and just working on the projects that I have energy for. So hopefully I'll have energy to post the other pregnancy videos that I have planned. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please kindly do so. Subscribe and like this video if you liked it and hit the notification bell so you get notified anytime I upload a new video. And make sure to follow me over on Instagram, because even though I might not be as active here on YouTube, but I always try to post something every day on my stories, and I'll be keeping you guys updated with baby stuff, real-time baby stuff over on my Instagram stories. So I will leave the link to follow me over there so that you can just stay updated with my motherhood journey. And I'll definitely be sharing updates, real-time and baby and pregnancy and baby updates over there as well. So be sure to follow along. Give this video a thumbs up in celebration of our of our baby that is to come, and I will see you guys